5 questions that every woman should ask themselves. But let me first break down why. You ever notice why people say things like, you got to love yourself? You need to love yourself. And then some people don't understand that concept because you've never loved yourself because you were never loved. You were always told that you were less than. You were always ridiculed. The ones who were supposed to protect you didn't protect you. Then you have trauma of molestation. You have trauma of lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth. You have all of these things, and people keep saying things like you got to love yourself, right? And you want to say, I love myself, but the truth is you don't. And let me tell you what's happening. And then not only am I going to tell you, but once you get in this challenge, I'm going to show you how to love yourself. But because it's not just, I love myself. No. Because it's subconscious. It is in your subconscious programming. It is in your DNA right now because you've been programmed not to love yourself. But let me tell you what happens when you don't. So when you have been traumatized and when you've been told that you don't love yourself and when you've accepted, see, first thing I need y'all to understand what a belief is. A belief is a thought that you've accepted as true. It is a thought or a statement that you've accepted as true. A belief is a thought or a statement that you've accepted as true. It can never become a belief unless you accept it as true. Now, what happens to people is because think about this. I want to teach you something tonight. Because when you are in your mother's belly from her third trimester till you are 7 years old, all right? You don't have a subconscious mind. Think about this. A subconscious mind is you have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Okay? There is conscious programming and subconscious programming. From the third trimester in your mother's belly, why do you think they tell them read to the baby, speak to the baby, speak life into the baby? Because by that time, the baby's brain waves are working, right? They're ingesting, internalizing the brainwaves. And so from then to the age of 7 years old, your subconscious mind is being formed, right? Now get this. So before then, you didn't have one. And so when people tell you when you're young, you're ugly, you're fat, you're no good, you're a whore, all of those things are being downloaded into your programming, into your subconscious programming, right? And so by the time you're 7 years old, you're taking that along with you. So when you get 10, 11, and 12, and you've looked at your environment around you, and your environment around you has said that you're not lovable. So now, because you're not lovable, because the environment told you, mom and them told you, because they seared the program in you, and now you say your subconscious programming says, I'm not lovable. Even if it doesn't say it consciously, it's happening on a subconscious level. And let me tell you, so by the time you become 20, 30 years old, right? If you've never rewritten the program, you got with a coach or somebody, a counselor, somebody like me who can show you how to override it, how to reprogram yourself, then you get in a relationship. And then what happens is you meet a man, a great man, not a fuck boy or somebody who is emotionally unavailable or a man who's a manipulator. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you meet a good man that is wanting to love you, all right? And then you meet this good man, and so what happens is, and then you say, something's got to be wrong. Something's got to be wrong. He's cheating. He didn't call me back. Because what's happening is the man says, I love you. But your subconscious programming says, no, you can't love me because I'm not lovable, right? I'm not lovable. And many of you, and then what happens is many of you are sabotaging the relationship because your subconscious programming says that you're not lovable. And y'all, this is happening every single day, Every day it's happening. And so what I tell people is, I'm going to teach you how to do it. And so when I go to people and I tell them, listen, here are 5 questions you got to ask yourself in any relationship. And when I sincerely dig deep and get them to ask the question, they are like, well, damn, I can't even answer the question because I have no basis to connect the question to my internal being. And so until you start doing this and still you start doing this internal work, you can't find love. Because then when you find love, you have no basis. No, your programming says they can't love you. And then what you do is sabotage it. You sabotage it, and then what you do is you justify it, sabotaging it, but you don't even know where it comes from. And y'all, that's the reason why I'm telling you, listen, what I'm trying to do, you all watch my videos. If you're on here, you've seen me. I am not about glitz and glamour. I do wear different glasses every day. I do like glasses and I like watches. But I love helping people more than I like those things. And so what I tell people is I say, listen, stop this shit. Stop this shit. Stop lying to your damn self and be willing. Get out and say, you know what? I'm worth the work. I'm worth the investment. I'm worth the part of me that says I need to become a better version of myself. If you're not willing to say, I need to become a better version of myself, then you will never change. Your outcomes will still be the same. And so, but if you're ready to change, I always tell people, this is what I want you to do. When you get in a relationship, let's get started with the 5 questions. But I had to break down the whole love in you first. If you ever get in a relationship, I always tell people, don't focus on the guy. I said, watch this. People say, I want somebody that's going to make me happy, right? That's what they say. And so here's what I say. I say, become someone who's going to make you happy, and then you will attract someone who's happy. Oh my God. Ooh! Say it again, Ken. Say it again. I said, become someone who makes you happy, and then you will attract someone who's happy. Listen, this shit is deep, y'all. And so what I'm doing is, and everything I do is I'm trying to mold. I'm trying to change your subconscious programming. That's what I'm doing. I'm molding them. MJ, Kathy, my goal is if I can change their subconscious programming where you say, you know what? I don't deserve a situationship. Fuck that. You got to invest in me. Okay. Then all of a sudden you won't tolerate what you've been tolerating. I don't care. My wife told me what changed my life was when my wife said to me, I love you with all my heart, but I've got to love me more than I love you. That day, the first time she said it, I was like, all right. She says, I'm done. I was like, well, go ahead. Be done. I don't care. All right. Then the second day, she was like, she didn't call me. I was like, all right, I don't need you. I tried to call some other people. But it wasn't. Then I got a hold of some other people. I don't know. I might have hit somebody else, but it didn't feel right. It was just different. By the 3rd, 4th, 5th day, I realized, y'all, this is what I teach my students. A man has to see you outside of his life. He has to see you not in his life. He has to see his life without you in it to determine if I need you in it. This by the 7th day I called her, I said, listen, I want to commit to you completely. 26 years ago, I 26 years ago, I ain't touched nobody. Nobody. I ain't got to cheat. But before then, I was a cheater. That's why I can tell you, before then, I got married 21 years ago, and that was 26 years ago. And what I tell people is this: I am uniquely qualified because I've been on both sides. I know what a man of no integrity looks like. I used to be that guy, slipping and dipping, sucking and fucking, everything you can think of, right? And then when I decided that this woman, I did not want to not have her in my life. And I look back, that was 26 years ago. And what I'm going to say to y'all is, don't think just because it's women cheat, men cheat, cheating is a choice. But listen, It's a whole bunch of relationship coaches out there. And a lot of them don't have a great relationship. All right. They're out here talking shit. They're out here and they don't understand. They read something, they've done this, but they don't understand the psychology of human behavior. And so what I tell people is, I say, listen, I've been in a relationship. I know what it takes to make a relationship work. Not only that, I've been on the other side of it, been a guy with no integrity. So that what I always say, I've been doing this 14 years. And at the end of the day, I am uniquely qualified to help all of you, be the best you can be. All right, but 5 questions that every woman needs to ask. Take notes. Write this down. Write this down, y'all. 5 questions. Number 1, if you're in a relationship, you've never asked these questions. I know you haven't. But that's why I'm giving them to you tonight. Number 1, you got to ask yourself, what we do is you do what we call self-reflection. And you ask yourself, the number 1, first question is, do I feel better about myself and my life with this person around? Now listen to what I just said. First question is this. You're in a relationship. You're seeing somebody. You got to ask these hard questions. Number 1, do I feel better about myself and my life when this person is around? See, what happens is a lot of times you could feel better about their life. Now listen to what I just said. You can feel better about their life. You might love them, but you don't feel better about your life. If you don't feel better about your life when the person is around, either that person is not the one for you or you need to do work on you. Do you follow me? Because if you can't answer this question and say, I feel better about my life when this person is around, okay? That's first question. And if you cannot articulate that as, yes, I do, then you know what? Either you need to go back and do work on you or this ain't the right one for you. Ooh, ain't nobody gonna give y'all this. Whoo. Number 2, the second question. And this is a straightforward question. Do I feel like he's someone that I can trust and should trust? Now, those are 2 very different things. Notice what I said. Somebody that I can trust, all right? Can, meaning I can trust this person if I choose to. Okay? Now, not that they've done anything. See, most of us, you don't trust the person based on your past, based on the things that have happened to you. And so you never ask yourself the question, can I trust? Do I have the ability, the capacity to trust because I have so much trauma? Some of y'all don't even have the ability to trust as much as you might want to. And then you ask the person, should I trust him? Should I trust him? Has he given me any reason? If he's not giving you any reason, I always say assume good intentions. All right. So you've got to ask the question. I'll repeat the question. Do I feel like this is someone I can trust or should trust? See, the difference is simply this. Some of you don't have the capacity to trust. If you can say to yourself, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, the truth of the matter is, I don't have the capacity to trust because I have so much trauma. I have so much stuff going on inside me. My attachment style, I have an anxious attachment style because mama didn't love me, because the people didn't love me. And now I don't understand at the end of the day, I can't trust. And now you got to go heal. You got to go heal until you can trust. And then you can ask the question, should I trust? Does this make sense, y'all? I hope it makes sense. Let me know. Should a man? Oh, that's an idiot. All right. Anyway. All right. The third question. The third question is this. Do I feel like he's my partner and he's on my side? Now, this is a powerful question. Do I feel like he's my partner and is he on my side? Or another way to ask that, is he my partner and are we on the same team? Are we on the same side? Because you know what I found out? A lot of relationships, people are in competition with each other. They're in competition with each other. And the truth of the matter is, you know what? When I'm in competition with you, we're not on the same side. We're on opposing sides. We're ops, as the young kids say. We are on opposing sides. Listen, there are so many couples out there that I counsel. And at the end of the day, when I tell them, I say, why the hell y'all competing with each other? Because because the lady makes more money than the guy, and the guy feels less than. So I got to the root of it. I got deep. I said, the truth of the matter is your value is tied to the money you make. Not who you are, it's what you do. And I always tell people what happens is what you do. When you do what you do and you tie your self-worth to it, what happens when you're no longer doing the things that you're doing? Your self-worth is depleted, is diminishing, is diminished. I always tell people when I filed bankruptcy, what happened was it did not matter. Years ago, I filed bankruptcy. And I said to myself, at the end of the day, I filed bankruptcy. It's what I did. It wasn't who I was. And I said, and after I got over my state of depression for 2 weeks, this was when I was a young man, and I thought I was invincible. And I said to myself, it was the best thing, one of the best things that happened to me, besides the bankruptcy and besides my wife leaving me. She wasn't my wife at the time, she was my girlfriend. Her saying that, you know what? I got to love me more than I love you. And at the end of the day, that's what happened. Somebody said, repeat the question. The question was this: do I feel like he's my partner and we're on the same team? We're on the same team. And if you don't feel like you're on the same team, see, a lot of relationships could survive. A lot of relationships could survive. Most of the relationships that I get a hold of, they do survive. Do you know why they survive? Because number one, I'm real. I don't take sides. I'm raw and I'm relatable. So when I tell them that me and my wife were headed to divorce court, and I tell them we put it back together, and I tell them we've been counseling couples ever since then, when I tell them I understand what it feels like to not feel appreciated, I understand what it feels like when you're not communicating, and not that my wife didn't appreciate, she appreciated everything I do, but I didn't feel like it at the time, and she felt like I wasn't appreciating her. And so y'all, but I know what that's like. We were acting like we were on opposing teams. And now everything we do. Let me tell you what happened recently. We wrote a book. The book, I don't even have it with me. The book's in there. We sell the books all the time. You can look at the book up in my link tree, but I'm going to tell you like this. We wrote a book, and in the book, my wife goes out with her friends. And I got to tell you something. And so this is why this is powerful. Hear me out on this. My wife goes out with some of her friends, right? And she says, she was going to buy this leather jacket. It was $500, $600. She says, let me call Kenny. She called me Kenny, y'all. She's like, let me call Kenny and let me see if it's okay. And her friends was like, this your money, girl. Why would you call him? And you know what my wife said? She says, part of our core values is we don't hide anything. Anything over $300, we tell each other about it. And I told her, go ahead and get it if you want to. But the fact that this is part of our system, our core values. And y'all, what happens is you are out there listening to other folk. You looking at the pastor's marriage, and his marriage fucked up too behind the scenes. You looking at somebody, but y'all only see their representative. You only see the representative, and you base your interaction with your spouse or your partner based on a fictitious thing, something that's not real, y'all. You don't see it when it's truly real. And that's what I'm talking about. All right, number four. Ooh, this is big. Is it effortless to be around him when I'm totally unguarded? Is it effortless to be around him when I'm totally unguarded? In other words, can I truly be myself? Not my representative. You know what? Not anybody else. Can I be myself? Can I be unguarded? Can I be relaxed around him? Can I? All right. And so if the court, I know a lot of people, my wife is a comedian, right? She's a clean comedian. She performs all over the world, right? And so my wife always clowning me on stage. She always joking about me. But when people come to our home, our friends, they say the way y'all talk to each other, she's my best friend. We talk about everything. If I pass gas, everything way, we are. I always tell people, she's my wife, my side piece, and my girlfriend, and one person, because she allows me to be me. She allows me to be me, and I let her be her. If you're wanting to be in a relationship and you have to diminish your light, if you have to diminish your light to be with someone, that person is not the one for you. You know what? And so that's what I would tell you. And last but not least, in the 5 questions you got to ask yourself if you're going to be in a relationship is simply this. Does he completely get me? Does he get me? Does he understand who I am at my core? Because a lot of people are getting in relationships with the person's representative. I remember that's what happened with Will and Jada Pinkett. I mean, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. That's what happened. Because I saw a video and they said that what they did was they fell in love with the other person's representative, and I still don't think they've ever gotten it back. I still don't think that they've ever fallen in love with who they are, who the person is. I have my own thoughts about their relationship, which I'm not going to comment on it because it don't make sense. It ain't identified me right here. But what I'm going to say to you is this. I'm going to leave y'all with this. Oh, we've been on for a minute. I'm going to leave y'all with this. Is there are some of you, you need to learn. You gotta decide, okay, how do you get good at your job? Because you've been trained. You've been equipped to get good at your job. Anything that you're great at, you got equipped to be great at it. How come dating we expect it to come? How come relationships we just expect it to come? We've never been trained. We've never been equipped. You've never been taught how to date. You've never been taught how to love. You've never been taught it, but you just expect the shit to be so easy. Listen,